Hello, Pierre. Nice to have you on this video.
Hello, Guy. Pleasure to be here.
For all of you who, for the first time, joined us, this is the third video we did in the DORA series, if I may say so. DORA being the Digital Operational Resiliency Act, which has been issued in the EU and is applicable to almost all financial actors to a large degree. So it's a pretty important thing, and it's a European regulation, and there's a deadline for implementation, which is the beginning of 2025. So again, Pierre, thanks so much for taking the time to share with our audience your insights into DORA.
Thank you very much. But let's not minimize your experience as well, which is very impressive too. So I guess collectively, we bring many, many years of experience in the cybersecurity field.
Thank you. And hopefully all this for your benefit, or the benefit of the audience. So this DORA 3, as we call it, episode, is really based on the incident response part of DORA. But any comments about from you, Pierre, about DORA in general?
Now, DORA is very much based on the same principles as GDPR. So we hope that it will have some significant teeth. Time will tell. 2025 is in 1 year from now. I'm seeing some financial institutions in Europe and outside Europe paying attention to DORA, but I'm very much looking forward in the way the regulator will implement and enforce DORA.
So interestingly enough, some of my clients also work on NIS2. So that's a sister agreement, which is mostly focused on critical infrastructure and also important companies. So it's outside the financial sector, but very much with the same objective. And I think the geopolitical situation has made now security a lot more important than it was maybe a couple of years ago before the war in Ukraine and all the things which came afterwards. So the focus of this video is essentially about incident response, which is a very new element or focus point of this regulation. So any insights from you, Pierre, about why this is different in this regulation?
Well, the incident response element in DORA brings more structure, which is something that is lacking, that is often lacking. For example, some decision point when you have an incident happening to be able to determine the severity of an incident. Usually this is left to the decision of the cybersecurity team or the board, whereby DORA is putting more structure into that, which I think is very beneficial.
I think same on this too. Now suddenly classification is important because you have to report certain things, and also timing of the reporting is getting a big thing. So that's suddenly a big thing at large, very, very different from the past. So what is the context about incident response in the DORA area? Because obviously DORA is a bigger regulation, so there are many bits and pieces which fit into the incident management or incident response side.
Well, the DORA's incident response contains different elements, such as the ICT risk management framework. It specifies that the organization must have an established risk management, which is often the case in the finance industry, but it makes it a must, which for some organizations is a good thing. It specifies that there must be an incident detection and response process. Again, we see that most of the finance industry in Europe do have some incident detection and response processes. It remains to be seen whether these processes have been thoroughly tested and kept up to date to cater for the evolution of technologies and evolutions of new business strategies inside the organizations. It also motivates the development of business continuity plans. BCP is a big monster because very few organizations truly test the BCP. So they tend to have a document that is on its own, has never been tested. And so DORA also motivates or enforce regular testing and exercises, which I think is critical we have to develop a muscle. Every organization has got to develop muscles and to teach the organization on how to behave when a significant incident happens, and to force these financial organization or critical infrastructure in the context of NIS2 is definitely a most welcome thing. I am amazed at the number of financial organizations that have never really tested, even on a tabletop level, have never really tested the incident response. It must be said that in the context of financial organizations, many financial organizations are members of the FSI-SAC. FSI-SAC promotes some regular tabletop exercises. So for these organizations that belong to FSI-SAC, it's probably something that is already known. But again, overall, DORA in the incident response requirement sets up the right principle and processes to ensure that the organization will be more effective at addressing incidents, which I think is a fantastic thing.